You're listening to the December 14th, 2014 reading of Blossom Goodchild's channeling with the Federation of Light.
Welcome to you once again. A question that I'd like to ask regarding those of us that have chosen to be on this planet to help raise Mother Earth into her higher position. White Cloud has often said that many volunteered to come, knowing what an important mission it is, yet only the strongest of the strong were chosen. Why is it, then, that more than half the world seem to have slept through their alarm clock?
A warmest welcome to you and all who are of light. And by this we mean all. For all beings are of light. They cannot be of anything else.
Although, of course, they may appear to be something completely opposite.
Indeed. As always, we speak to you from the bigger picture. Consider the scenario of the grand play, the playing out of a performance. Within this story, there are the goodies and the baddies, the happy and the sad, the everything you can possibly think of in order to make this particular play one that has an intense purpose and leaves one feeling, when leaving the theater, uplifted and moved, and indeed much wiser for having had the experience.
Okay, so if I take out of the equation the dark ones, in the understanding that they are playing their part in order for us to gain in knowledge and understanding, what about those who are simply still unaware of who they are and continue on through life not really contributing to the upliftment of the whole? Did they not come here to be of assistance?
Yes, they did.
In what way?
In the way of being themselves.
Yet when those still in slumber seem to be speaking ill of others and 1,000 other things that would portray them to still be sleeping, how is this assisting in what they came here to do? Are those who didn't get chosen not a little frustrated by those who are not playing their part? Are they not thinking they could be doing a better job in getting this show on the road? Truly, not judging, just curious.
Have we not many times used the expression, all is as it should be, or all is not as it seems? Yes, indeed, there are those who are choosing to take a little longer in their awakening. There are those who are simply part of the circle of life, that are determining their pathway and which avenues to choose. And then there are those who have come down here in a specific form with a specific agenda in order to move things along for the benefit of the whole. Consider that if all on earth at this time were, would we say, the volunteers that were chosen, there would be little need for such a divine plan to be so fully intricate and involved. Yet, not all are of such a degree of enlightenment. Therefore, the position of many light beings was invoked in order to balance out the necessary requirement of frequency.
So when you say others are here in the way of being themselves to assist, what do you mean?
There is so much to explain in matters of everything. Those that for you, for instance, go against the grain, if we may put it that way,
You may.
are playing out their role. There has to be everything playing out, every level of evolving, from the insect to the astronaut, because this life on Earth, is the experiment that was created. Each individual soul has a purpose for itself on its journey, and it has choice for itself. Each soul decides who to be, how to be it, and when. One could relate to picking up a script and deciding, yes, this time around I will play this character. Yet, all the scripts are chapters of the one vast plan.
I still get confused by the divine plan. How can there be a plan when we're creating as we go? What if the balance of many thoughts veer off course from what the divine plan's plan is?
Yet it cannot. For the divine plan is your creation. That's it. That is the plan. Your creation of life for yourselves, of yourselves.
Yet isn't the divine plan, or at least part of it, to lift Gaia into a higher vibration?
Indeed. Yet you have come here to create that.
What if we forget that's why we came? What if, when here, some change their mind or get distracted? And if we came here to create that lifting of the planet, could that not be considered pre-programming?
In no sense would we comply with programming of self-choice. That would not make sense for the creation of yourselves. When you are not of earth, in the physical being, you are a form of light, different degrees of light, depending on where you choose to go, when you leave the earth plane. Those that are chosen to assist in lifting the planet are driven by this knowing that this is what they came to do. It is part of them. It is not programming. It is a conscious decision by the all that this is the correct way to go, the next step in humanity, if you like. This part of the plan is a collective conscious decision. Therefore, when we say you create your own reality, yes, you do. This is a divine truth. Yet, have you considered that perhaps you create your own reality? Or perhaps the blueprint of your earthly possible reality before you arrive there each time? As if the creation of benefiting the whole is a conscious decision by the whole, before one enters into the earthly life, to then bring it into reality. This is why so many of you know. You have an inner knowing when you are following your heart. That instinctive, this feels so right feeling is your soul's way of telling you that you are creating that which you decide you would create before you came. In the same way, when you have the uncomfortable feeling about something that is taking place, you know that you are not on track with that which you decided would be part of the plan. There is the individual plan, and there is the overall plan. One, wherever they were in perspective to traveling and opening up their soul's truth, would not consider coming back for another trip to Earth and living out a creation that would be detrimental to their growth.
Yet, in many souls' lives, it may appear that way.
This word, appearance, is a word that has many connotations, of which, at this moment in time, we are having difficulty putting the right accent upon. That which can appear to be working or being presented as one thing may not actually be the reason behind what it is appearing to be.
I feel you want me to look up appearance. Okay, so 1. The outward or visible aspect of a person or thing. 2. An outward show, pretense. 3. One of the outward signs or indications by which a person or thing is assessed.
thank you. This assists us. For what is the outward visible aspect of a person is not necessarily the reason why the inward aspect of that soul is choosing to appear that way outwardly.
And the direction to the funny farm is...
We continue in that an appearance can be an indication or sign of how a person is assessed. Yet we would clearly state that the outward indication may be very, very different from the inward indication. It just needs to be presented in a particular way.
Almost there in understanding, yet so close also to the funny farm.
We can only say then, for we feel unable to express correctly, that if you ponder upon this, your soul will know its truth.
Yes, it sort of does. Yet I've now forgotten the point in the first place.
It was regarding one's creativity of the life chosen to live on earth each time. We would expand on this by saying, to hopefully make it more accessible to understanding, that some souls are still working on their individual pathway, as opposed to being aware of the pathway of light for the whole. Whereas other souls have evolved into a position where much of their individual pathway has been walked, and they are now continuing to walk their own pathway, yet it is attached to the upliftment of one. Those that have come down here to lift the planet have reached a certain grade, we would say, and therefore have come to create that which is for all. And by this we mean all. It is a simple matter of one understanding more and more of who they are. This does not come from an egotistical knowing, for when one has reached a certain grade, the ego is left behind, although it can sometimes appear to still be hanging around. Maybe this is for others to understand ego.
Might go into that later. My brain cannot handle that right now. I can feel that.
There is the knowing inside many now. They are feeling their mission, their creation, and recognizing their position, and accepting who they are and what they came to do. This recognition, this remembering the bright light of self, magnifies the speed of the transition that is taking place greatly. As you move into the next phase of lightness, as your new year brings in even higher levels of light, love, energy, as you, each one, merge with these higher energies and recognize yourselves at this higher level, how you shall see changes of magnificence taking place. Be of the greatest cheer, dear souls. We are aware, Blossom, that you have not wanted us to speak of how close you are, etc., of matters concerning time frames. Yet we thank you this day for allowing us to say that you are so very close now, to feeling in your hearts that all of this that you have seen, been through, all of this that you have marched bravely onwards for, will be so blatantly obvious as to the reason you kept on keeping on, and how you shall be elated. Tears of utter joy shall overflow from your heart down your cheeks. Smiles of delight from one's eyes to another, as the soul knows that the divine plan is very much on course.
Thank you so much. I know it's time to go. Always a blessing to have a chat with you in love and thanks.
Always, with much gratitude to each one for remaining in their truth as they walk their pathway.